They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I'd have mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in 01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth, I'm OG King Kirk. Brooklyn Nets Gaming crew legend, let's work.
Hey, this is the OG2CENTS podcast. I'm your host, OG King Kirk. I just want to continue to thank everybody who tunes in and supports the podcast. We truly appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out a lot. Let's continue to stand up against any forms of social injustice and racism. And this episode 90, almost at 100. Definitely been on hold, but long overdue. We back. Episode 90, hanging with Glow. Glow is entering his third season. Named Ludlow Samuels, aka Glow, is a professional player for Mavs Gaming of the NBA 2K League. A Brooklyn native, Glow remained in his hometown after being drafted by Knicks Gaming in 2021. He would go on to play a pivotal role in his first 2 seasons, helping Knicks Gaming reach the Eastern Conference semifinals in 2021 and the Eastern Conference Finals in 2022. Despite being unretained in the following year, Glow found a home when Dallas selected him with the first pick of the second round in the 2023 NBA 2K League draft. This past offseason, Glow competed at the UPA Regionals in Dallas, Texas for the Pro-Am team Undisputed, which featured 4 other 2K League players, including Streetz of NetsGC. This episode is a little different. We actually had a chance to record this side by side in the same room. So get ready to check this out, because obviously I want to plan to do more interviews like this. Hope everybody enjoys it. Welcome to the OG2CENTS podcast. I'm your host, OG King Kirk. And today we're doing a little bit something different. As you can see, I got a visitor that's right here with me in the same room. It's Glow. Said a lot of good things about him in the intro. But Glow, how you doing, man?
Chilling, just getting ready for the season, making sure I'm prepared, like mentally and physically for the boys.
You know, man, it's probably been a whirlwind for you. You know, you got drafted, you played for the hometown team. You know, unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately, but
you don't know yet.
yeah. I mean, you know, you didn't get retained, had to play pre-draft here and there, but of course was one of the best centers in the league last year. But I want you to talk about your off season. You know, after the season, you know, talk about the season you had, then the off season, and then catch us up to speed of what's going on with you right now.
Okay, well, the season, as you know, is a roller coaster. I had 3 different point guards, 3 different roommates, because I was roommates with all the point guards I was traded or whatever. So, yeah, that was crazy. It was definitely a different experience than my first season. I feel like my first season, I had Nate, and he was like a good vet to us. I feel like I learned a lot from Nate. And whatever, like, everything he taught me, I carried on to the following season. That's probably the most I learned from, like, one person about, like, life in general in, like, that span of time. Like, such a short span of time. I feel like I learned so much from him. So I feel like he helped us a lot. That first season, I mean, we got to the playoffs. We was the 6th seed. We won the ticket championship. Then we go and play the 3rd seed. First game, we lose by, like, 50 points. We come back, reverse sweep them, move on to the Wiz. I mean, they were the better team. They won the championship. So that was like season 4. And then go on the next season. We make a couple good runs in some tourneys, tip off. We beat the Wizards, so it was like a revenge game. We got a little rivalry going on. It's a 1-1 in the series between us. And then after that, we lose to the Heat. It was a tough one. Then we make the big trade, which is tough. That hurt me the most because like Duck was part of the reason I was even on the team. One of the biggest reasons I was on the team. So that was tough. We move on to the turn, play the Wizards again, unfortunately, and then they game winnered us in a game 3. So it was another one. So at this point, it's deeper than 2K. I mean, they're taking money out of our pockets. Like we're going back and forth with them. So we get to the playoffs, play the Heat, the team that beat us in the tip-off. So it's like everything's coming full circle to playoffs. So we got that chip on our shoulder, like we're better than them. Like we just got to show everybody we're better than them. We beat them. It was a great series. They was a great team defensively. So then next, playing the number 1 seed, the Sixers. I mean, they're the favorites to win the title at this point. They just came off a turn championship. We beat them in a crazy fashion. One of my best moments of my career was against them, so that was crazy. Then we go to game 3 versus the Wizards again. Again, this is like, it gotta be like the 4th time we played them in this season alone, like considering like group play and everything. Go lose to them in the Final Four, which is tough. So I mean, I feel like I had so far like a good career. Like I started off first season playoff, second round. Next season I'll go to the Final Four. I mean, I feel like this season for me to take the next step, I could probably make a finals or something like that. So.
No, I get it. I mean, and just this year is going to be everybody's projecting the East to be a gauntlet. I mean, because of course, at this point, you can go by nothing but names on paper. Mm-hmm. Dallas.
Yeah.
Like
out west.
Yeah. Like I mean, you've been home for a few years.
Forever.
Yeah.
I really never left New York. Like I never stayed outside of New York for like a long period of time. So this is gonna be like different.
Okay. Now, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I got great people around me. I mean, the coaching staff, Dave Frost, somebody obviously I take like really highly on because I mean he beat me so many times, and I respect him, his like accolades and stuff. Bobby, really good coach. I feel like he did a good job with the Pacers this year. And I mean, I have a team full of my boys, so it's not that much different from the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks obviously it was a 2-year thing, so like we came like closer, like we was more friends than just coworkers at that point. But I feel like it's the same vibe with this team, just in a different way. Cause like it's always gonna be different. Like when you get around different type of people with different type of ethnicities, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I mean, I got Reed with me, Jarsity. I got 2 people that's from New York on the team. They're both from the Bronx, Follow and Jarsity.
True that.
So yeah, I mean, Kenny Zeus, I think really highly of him. I really like him. So I hope we can like make something special down there.
Look, I want to pause right there. We're gonna come back to that, but just like, what was your thoughts going into the draft? Like, I mean, was it like a unknown, or like did you know where you was going?
I mean, it was a lot of rumors headed into the draft. Like people were saying people were gonna trade up for me. I don't want to like put them out there, but yeah, they was trying to trade up for me. So I didn't know. I knew I was going between 12 and 22. That's all I knew. So the whole night I'm just thinking like I don't know if I'm about to live here. I don't know if I'm about to live here. That's all that's running through my mind. But I feel like everything worked out for me draft wise, so I was happy. Okay,
now you arguably are about to play for. I mean, well, not arguably. You're going to be playing for the most decorated 2K League player in league history in Dave Fry. Y'all play the same position.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't know if it could be any more perfect scenario than that. I mean, what's your thoughts going into that?
I mean, me and him, like, we battled a lot on the stage. Like, there was a lot of trash talk. So, like, obviously he respects my game, and I respect him. Like, at some point, you keep playing people, and, like, the games are always close. It gets tougher and tougher each time you play these people. So you gain that mutual level of respect, and after the game, it's always nothing but love. Like, me and him talk after the game a little bit. Like, so I know it's going to be a competitive atmosphere because, I mean, he's the best player in the league at center last season and the last 2 seasons. So it's going to be competitive. I know he's going to expect me to do certain things. I'm going to have to still be myself, though. I feel like I'm going to have to go into it knowing what my strengths is. And I'm obviously learn from him. I mean, he has a lot of knowledge on the game. And I feel like I can take something out of his game and, like, I can mesh it and make myself a better player.
Got you. Now, Is there anything that you looking forward to improve on this season compared to the past season?
I mean, yeah, just being better on a day-to-day basis. I feel like mentally, physically, my sleep schedule, my diet, like mostly off the court stuff. On the court stuff, I'm always going to put in the work. I'm always going to grind. So I feel like that won't be a problem. And Dayfrod, Bobby, my teammates, they're real supportive of me. They're going to, no matter what, I know like I got the green light to do pretty much what I want to do on the court. So I know they believe in me. So that's a big, huge. So I'm not really worried about too much on the court. I'm worried about a lot of stuff off the court. I'm getting my mental right, my physical right. I've been hitting the gym a lot, so like stuff like that.
Yeah, talking about like what gym you go to?
Go to Planet Fitness.
Okay, yeah. And people always make jokes about Planet Fitness.
Yeah, bro.
but this the thing. I like Planet Fitness because they're everywhere. Like
that's the same thing. Like, look, so like my Planet Fitness next to my house, on weekends it closes at 7, but the one like closer to here, downtown Brooklyn, it closes at it doesn't close. It's 24 hours. So, like, on the weekend, I'm not the going out kind of guy. Like, even Saturdays and Sundays, I'm not really going out. I'm trying to go to the gym still, especially late at night. I probably play 2K during the day. At night, I hit the gym. So, that's why I go to Planet Fitness.
Now, when you say the Planet Fitness, which one are you talking about?
The one down here?
Yeah. I know the one on Fulton and the one on Duffield. Like, that's the main
Nah, this
thing.
one is, like, further up. It's on Flushing.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's further.
I might have to check that out. I mean, because, like, these
It's like
two,
20 minutes away with no traffic at night.
Yeah, because these two, they close on the weekends, but they close at 7. I mean, that's still later. I done got my body conditioned where I'm getting up at, like, 7 a.m. Like, even if I ain't got nothing to do, I still get up. So, like, at 7 p.m. is that's realistic on the weekend.
Yeah.
To, like, get into the gym. You know, let's talk about some of the people that you're gonna be playing with this year. Like you said, you got some New York guys on the team. Like, I mean, just break down their game and just talk about how you look forward to playing with them.
I mean, a big part of my game, I feel like it elevates on the stage. So I knew I would have had I need like somebody up there with me, and I feel like Follows is going to be a great stage presence for us. Considering that I played against him in the stage during the COVID year in season 4, he was on that Grizzlies team that was the 3rd seed that year. He was the lockdown, and I mean, bro, he was down like 20 points still talking. So you need somebody like that that's going to stay in the game like that. Like, I was big on like defense and always staying in it no matter what's going on the offensive side of the ball. No matter if your guards are struggling, you can't hit a shot, like try to get it back on defense. So having somebody like that, and he's from New York, so like it's a cultural fit between me and him. So I know he'll always have my back like I'll have his. And Jarcy, he's from the Bronx too, and he got like a little swag too. I'm really high on Jarcy. I think he could be one of the best power forwards in the league. Like if he like puts in the work to be, I love his communication skills. So like I'm into him a lot. Reed, I mean, he's a veteran at this point. You could trust him. You know he's going to put in the work. He's going to be on time. Like, he's proven at this point. Like, you know what you're going to get out of him. Kenny Zeus, he just came off. He made playoffs his first year. It's similar to me. He, I think he lost first round to the champions. I think they played the Bucks, right? So, I mean, he lost first round to the champions. So, it's only up from here. And I'm really high on that kid, man. I really think that he could be one of the best PGs in the league. And just like a little backstory, back in the day, like around 2-3 years ago, he was actually on my Pro-Am team. And me and him got in a little argument. I actually kicked him off my Pro-Am team. So it's funny how life comes full circle. Like, I come from not even wanting to play with this kid that, like, he's one of the most likable persons, like, I talk to on a day-to-day basis now.
It's funny you say that. This, you know, I got a call from a good friend of mine after the draft, and he reminded me that Glenn had shown one of our interviews in years prior. So, like, you know, and I told him, I said, you know, I'm an agent of change, so I don't hold anything against anybody.
And that's the same way Kenny was. I brought it up to him, like people. So it was him and Cease were in the party playing Pro together, and I honestly asked him. I was like, "Yo, why do you guys still talk to me? Like, I was such an asshole to y'all. I wasn't nice to y'all. Like, why do y'all like me? Like, I don't get it. Like, from my point of view, if I feel like if I was their shoes, I wouldn't like me. So I had to genuinely ask him, like, why do you like me? Why do you want to still play me continuously? And I mean, they said it. I mean, Kenny was like, he's like, I don't feel like you was in the wrong back then. I feel like I did need to get better. And he probably used that as motivation, little do I know. So he probably respects the fact that I even did that. So, and then Cease, I mean, I'm real, like, that's my boy. So he ain't take it too hardly when I said those.
It's funny you say that. I mean, because it is moments like that where things happen. I mean, a lot of people, and it's kind of a good segue into what I wanted to ask you. But like, some people need to hear things to get motivated. I get tired of the fake motivation. Like, people, like, if you know what I'm talking about, like, people like
the chip on their shoulder when it's no chip.
Like, just, I mean, you should want to be good at anything you do, regardless. Like, I mean, I've never been the type that needed fake motivation, but you know, this draft, it was 47 spots. Mm-hmm. Somebody wasn't getting in. Yeah. Like, I mean, of course, we can go to every draft outside of the 102, and it's always it's always been a surprise. And me personally, I never used the term snub. Like, I never.
You feel like they didn't put enough work in?
No, I feel like teams get who they want.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I think you're gonna look at any draft, like, I don't care if it's the 2026 season, it's always going to be, you're always going to have people that say, so-and-so should have got in, so-and-so shouldn't have get drafted. All these GMs and coaches is trash. Like, it's no getting by it. Or the one thing I always say in our league is, like, let's say that your rookie year, let's say it didn't go too well. Mm-hmm. People, I instantly think that you shouldn't get a second year to grow on. Yeah. Like, we don't get that luxury. I don't think players get that luxury, and definitely GMs don't get that luxury of, like, saying, oh, I want to develop and work with a player to see how things turn out. And you don't always get that in 1 year.
Yeah, and I feel like that was going into the Knicks situation, my first season, I feel like it was the perfect scenario for me in that regard. Because, one, I feel like our expectations outside looking in wasn't that high. I don't feel like nobody thought he was making playoffs. I feel like nobody thought he was going to do anything or even beat the third seed. So I feel like having a coach like Ball Up did help me, and a veteran like Nate did help me. Because they let me go to the motions of being a rookie, bro. And I feel like that growth right there helped me towards my next season. And then now people saying I'm one of the best centers in the league. So if I don't have that growth period right there, you don't even get to see the glow on the stage. You don't get to see the glow make the Final Four. You don't get those moments if you don't let me grow to the next year. And I tweeted about that, like, earlier today. I was like, these prospects, they always saying somebody snubbed them. Like, but I feel like they don't put the work in to go head on with any of these guys they say they got snubbed over. Like, I had a discussion with Crown about this, because back in our day when me and him was facing off for spots, me and him and Cole was facing off spots, like that, it felt personal. Like, it really got to that point, because that's how bad we wanted it. And I feel like these prospects nowadays is too, like, friendly. Like, they don't have an edge to them. They don't care enough, where it's like, you see the public is saying these people are better than you. You're not even challenging these guys. You're just hoping you run into them, and then when you run into them, then you're gonna make your tweet. If you win, if you lose, you under the covers with it. Like, nah, you gotta. If you really think you're that guy, and somebody's at your position, and they're constantly claiming they're better, the public is doing it. Challenge that man, bro. If you really want it that bad, challenge him.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's a lot of things that go into it, because, like, I know I had seen some streams where, you know, Champ was talking about Rico possibly moving FT over to shooting guard and drafting a point guard. Well, scenarios like that instantly move people out of position.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just one of those type things. And I always been telling people, I mean, as somebody, I wasn't in the league officially in season 1. So I always tell people, like, your time is your time. Like, it's going to come if it's meant to be. And if not, then it's on you to have to recognize that early and then be able to move on and find and get what is for you. Like, I mean, a lot of people, they're going for the league, whether it's a player or GM or a coach, but it's only 20, like, it can only be 25 GMs.
Yeah.
Like, it can only be like 25 coaches. Like, it can only be, you know, X amount of players. At this point, we got 25 teams, 5 players. Like, it's limited. Yeah. And that's why I always say, and it's really go from famous. Like, he told me from year 1, he was like, Kurt, he was like, if the best time to get in, if you're going to get in, is when it first starts, because it's going to get harder and harder after that. And luckily, I was blessed to be in a position that I was in. But, you know, a lot of people don't look at it that way. Like, it's only X amount of spots. And, like, instead of, like, when you get in, you got to take it as an honor every day.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a big chance that once you're out,
you're out.
You're out.
And
like,
people take that for granted. Like, they take the opportunity for granted. Because they can't see past their current situation. They can't see that side of them being outside the door. They can only see where they're at in the moment. So it's hard for them to envision the other side of that. Like, that's how people think. I mean, you got to be able to look into the future. As crazy as that sounds, but you got to be able to know what can happen, not what's currently happening.
Yeah, it's funny because Comp, he said this not too long ago, and it was funny. He said, it's a good player turning 18 every day. Like, I mean, after a while, when you start looking at it like that, it's a lot of players who play the game. Some play on the comp scene earlier. Some fall in later. Because it's a lot of players out here that play the game and don't even know that the comp scene exists. And we almost 10 years, like, where it's been extreme competitive pro-am. Like, we almost 10 years in and like starting from 2K15, and you still run into people that don't know that it's actual leagues and stuff to sign up for and all that. So
I get DMs every day about it, and I'll always break it down. The first place I send them when they ask me about the 2K League, I always send them to WR first. I'll be like, yo, go to WR. That's where you're going to make your name at. Even if it's a draft league, you don't have teammates, you can build connections in there, build your way up. I feel like that's the best route to get into the league at this point. If you're a complete random, go into WR Select, make connections in there. It's going to be a couple good players that know what's going on. Ask them questions, bro. I mean, I was never scared to ask anybody questions on the way up. I feel like that's why I know so many people. Even though, like, a lot of people don't know, like, I'm friends with almost all of the league. Like, it's not too many people that's like, I don't fuck with Glow. Like, it's just not. So, don't be scared to ask questions, bro. Like, if you want to really make it, like, you got to put that foot forward.
And it's funny you say that too, because I think the first conversations I had with you was with Indy. And then I was like, man, Glow cool. But, like, watching you play, like, you just play. Like, you don't ever be out on Twitter, talking wild or nothing like that. Now, I ain't seen it. I mean, and then I think I talked to you on a few PS5 parties and stuff like that. And I'm like, you always seem cool. Like, you just do your job. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, so I think you got to root for the good guys, like one way or the other, because I think players need to realize, like, it's you got to be strategic in your angles and how you approach the league, because teams are only gonna put up with so much shit year in and year out. Everybody that had their trial periods here and there where you dealt with more than you probably wanted to, and then now it's getting to the point where, like, nobody wants to do that. So it's really big. I mean, really big. I guess for me, like, I just want you to, like, just expand on what we've been talking about. Just like, because I do the Dear NBA 2K League prospects and stuff like that, where I'm spitting some jewels, just trying to help people out. Some people listen. A lot of people don't. I mean, and I say that because, like, when people DM me, I can tell by the DMs that the question that you ask me is like, you really not paying attention to what I'm saying. But, like, just expand on that and talk about how players should go about post-draft.
Okay, for the I made my name the biggest leap in my career from post-draft. I was on the team with Duck, that was one of his biggest names. We had Shump, we had Snubby, we had Zay Bucks, we had Czar. Those are all league players. Like, at once upon a time, they was all in the league. So I feel like me playing with somebody like Shump, who was a former MVP candidate in the league, season 1, I believe. I mean, he taught me so much. Like, if there's anybody that propelled my game from the biggest gap in game, it was him for sure. Like, I learned so much just about playing with somebody that was that good. And I feel like you got to use post-draft to really build your name. I mean, it's open season in post-draft. You winning, it's going to be a light shed on you. Even if it's not the brightest, it's going to be some type of light shed on you. People are going to know your name, and then you carry that momentum on the pre-draft. They have a UPA event, go to it. Like, you don't really want it if you're not putting all your effort in it. If you feel like you can't put all your effort into it, like this, I just feel like it's not for you. Like, you got to be all in. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. Like, I was working at a hospital the year before I got in the league, and every day it was just like on my mental, like I'm just looking around. It's like a whole bunch of older people working around me. And I'm like the youngest there. I'm probably like 20 at this point. Everybody around me looking like they're 30, 35. I mean, guys are 50, 60. And I just thought to myself one day, like, is this really what I want my life to be? Like, is this my passion? And that was my question I asked myself. And I always knew deep down inside the answer was no. This is not what I want to do. This is not something I enjoy doing. So, I mean, literally that day, when I literally sat down to myself and thought about it, I was like, no. And that, it was literally going into the next 2K. I said, I'm going to put my eggs and all my eggs in one basket. Because this is how much I really wanted. This is how much I knew I could dedicate like to playing the game. So, literally quit the job once I answered that question for myself. Going into the next, it was a week before the game even dropped. I'm that confident in myself. I'm like, I could be one of the best players in the game. And that's what, I feel like that's really what it takes. Like, everybody's not fortunate like me, obviously, to do something like just quitting their job and putting their all into the game. Like, that's a tough move to make, but that was my approach to it. I feel like I gave it my all. I feel like that was the biggest leap from that year to next year. That was the biggest leap I could have made to even make the league.
No, I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, I think what you talking about sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, you see it time in and time out. Like, by now, everybody knows the league is 6 months. Mm-hmm. Then you got 6 months to figure out, you know, how you gonna live from there, whether you're taking a leave of absence from your job and different things of that nature. But it's like when you take your time to put in to try to make the league, and then you don't. Like, it can't be, oh, I was doing all this and doing all that and still not get drafted.
Not to even cut you off, but bro, I didn't make it like 2 times before I finally made it. I tried season 2, I didn't make it. I tried season 3, I didn't make it. That was 2 times. Then the 3rd time me trying, that's when they got rid of the combine and they said you could just play with your pro-am, and if you win, you win. I'll never forget this moment. Crazy calls me. He's like, yo, Glow, like, I need you to come down. I don't have an Xbox. I don't have an Xbox yet. I have a PS4. He's like, yo, Glow, I need you to come to Xbox. Like, we gonna win it. Once he told me that, I literally went to the store, bought an Xbox. I said, we're gonna put a team together. It was me, 630, C's, Crazy, and Zara. That was our team. We stuck with it. You know what's funny? Greens was supposed to be on that team, but he was ineligible at the time, so he felt like it was a waste of time for him to, like, help us out to that. And I was like, I respect that. I mean, you're not going for it. You're not. And I was actually happy he did it because I knew he wouldn't be all in with it because it wasn't his time yet. Everybody I knew that was on the court with me, I knew they wanted it, and I knew how bad they wanted it. I mean, 630, like, he wanted it. Like, at the time, that was the most I ever seen that man play the game. He played every single day. Team up, quick match, everything, pro-am, everything. C's, he even took a backseat on the team. I mean, at that time, people were saying C's one of the best guards in pro-am. He took a backseat for 630, sat on the hash. Like, that's sacrifice. Like, and I would talk to him on a personal level. I'm like, because he would be like, he feel like if he was by himself and somebody else was spotting up for him, he could have made a bigger impact and it could improve it drastically. I said, but you got to put the team first in this situation. Like, we're going to win this. Like, I'm confident. We have Crazy on the roster. We got me on the roster. Zara's on the roster. 630's on. Like, we're going to win this. Like, I will always tell him this by himself. I'm like, bro, you stick with us. All we got to do is win this one tournament. We can all go our separate ways. You don't have to play with us no more. Nothing. And you can go get what you want out of this. You got to just get your foot in the door. He agreed. We finished the tournament. We won the first one ever in league history for even that route to the league. We won the first one ever. So, I mean, it'd be crazy routes to this league. So you don't know your route. I will say it's no conventional route to get. Like, it's no like set way to get in. You got to take your own path for real.
No, that's a good point. I mean, because like in 2, everybody has a story, and a lot of these stories go untold. Like, yeah. I mean, when you get into the depths of everything, like, they go untold. I mean, you know, it's crazy me sitting here listening to that story because, like, once I was running the MPBA, and then in 2019 I became a part of the 2K League. You know, I always said this to myself, like, I wish I would have stayed more in tune with the younger generation that was coming up, because it's kind of a gap for me. Yeah. Like, and that's how I realized, even as funny as it is in 2K generations, you got me, Famous, LT, West, even like Jonah, like, you know, all everybody who first generation, so to speak. And then now you got and then comp started coming on a little later and different things. And then now, you know, you got the big faces, you got the Juices, you got the Roys, like you got everybody else. And it's funny, I mean, and I'm giving some shout outs, even like you got Lavelle Cole, like he first generation, and like just now like getting.
And look at the routes. And be like, everybody didn't take the same route as y'all did. Look at Comp. Comp was on Twitter just being funny. And like the younger generation, they gravitate to that. Cause like it's quick, it's funny, it's like you're gonna laugh at it. Y'all, I feel like the older generation, y'all more serious, uptight.
Except for Famous. I like Famous. He like, you know, he's
like in the middle. Yeah. He's not all the way on the Comp side, but he's not all the way on the stricker side of things either. He's in the middle.
Right. I took the role that I had because I was older than everybody. So it was like it only made sense. Like it didn't. I mean, I played the game because I love to play the game. Never in my life would I say I was the best or anything like that. But I just love to compete. But like far as when I started creating content and building a brand, it only made sense for me to be like that figure. Like, cause I mean,
you're the oldest.
Yeah, right. So but like Famous, like he be in between. Like he all over the place. Like I mean, Comp. The funny thing about him is I don't even think that. Like most people who know him, but like he don't even be joking. Like he really be for real. It just be funny. Like I mean, but you know, talking about that, like now we got, you know, coaches in Pro-Am, which is I tell anybody, I haven't been against the idea one bit. I think because it puts me in a route of like what we did with the MPBA and the WRs and things like how we got the UPAs. Is like, when you trailblazing something, you don't have it. It's not like, oh, you just woke up and say, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Most of the time, the best part of it is when you just doing stuff out of the love and passion of it, and then it just happened to click. So when I see like the Pro-Am coaches and GMs and the orgs and everybody, because we don't have an official grassroots, we have an unofficial grassroots, which being the UPA, but. We don't have an official, so it's like I want to see that type of ingenuity and just people taking on roles and becoming something of it. But what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I like the idea of like the coaches coming to Pro-Am because now we have a lot of events with the UPA. So if you really like, let's say if you are a GM that really does your job and you really want to see how a coach like that would fit on your roster, you go to an event and see somebody coaching. I mean, Lav Cole was there. He was at the event coaching Crown, Stick, that was like their team, Claude and them, whatever. So you could see him at how he is on coach. And I mean, I watched him coach. Like he was like passionate about it, bro. Like it wasn't like he just coaching and try to get a job. Like he actually cared about them winning and losing. Like obviously it affects him if they win or lose too, because it makes him look better if he's doing a great job of him coaching and stuff like that. But like, bro, you could see it. Like he was passionate, bro. He cares about it, and it's deeper than him than 2K. And that's the type of person you need. Like. You can't just have somebody that's all 100% so deep in on 2K that they can't see the outside like of stuff. Like, and I'm big on that, especially like as a player, I could always put myself in another player's shoes in my team. Like somebody could tell me something I disagree with, but I'll look at it from their eyes and I'll be like, okay, I can see why he feels this way, and I can see why he wants stuff ran this way. And I feel like a coach has to be able to do it too, and then they got to have that blend of getting everybody together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't say I've been perfect.
I mean, nobody has.
Or anything like that. I think I've learned a lot along the way. I mean, and that's the value in somebody, you know, having people that believe in you. Like the people, my management, you know, and everybody from the people who hired me, you know, JP, Joshua Press, and then now I have Alton Burr, who like people who believe in me, you know, because people who believe in you, to a point, they'll allow you to make mistakes.
Yeah. Because they have that belief that you'll get better and you'll learn from your mistakes. And like I said, with Boiler being my coach season 4, my rookie year or whatever, he let me make those mistakes. Like, he'll always keep me in line with certain things. Like, I'm not crossing this line with him, or I'm not going too far into it, but he'll always, like, believe in me. I can tell it. Like, it was just crazy. It's a feeling. Like, he never told me these words. Like, he never was like, I believe in you. But I can feel it by, like, his actions throughout the day, like, without me saying. Because he's not like he doesn't speak a lot, honestly. Like, when he talks, though, it's purposeful because he barely talks. So that's the good thing about him, like, as a coach.
That don't surprise me. Like, I mean, we talk, like, my first few seasons, like, I would go do stuff with the Knicks, like, because I had Nate my first year, and like, and so it was like some different things that they were celebrating still from season 1, and like, so I got a chance to spend time with them and stuff like that, and it's always been cool, and like you say, purposeful. Like, it's not over talk or anything like that, but no, it's been great, and I like just thinking about different stuff like that. I mean, I can't wait to see the future of the UPA and prospect events and different things like that. Before we get out of here, like, it's gonna be time to head on out of here from New York, head to Dallas.
Yeah, next week.
I just want to wish you the best. I think you like I said, one of the good guys. Definitely made me step my game up, because the funny story about this is, I hit up Glow about the podcast, and then he reminded me and hit me back up. But he said, OG, I don't want to do the online shit. Like, I want to do it in person.
I feel like it's more authentic this way. And like all the podcasts I watch, they're in person. Right. And I like watching podcasts, whether it's TikTok clips or the full thing. Like, I feel like it's more authentic. And the first episode I ever watched you do it was with Nate. And it was a good cast, but I feel like if y'all was in person, it would have been even more. Like, the chemistry would have been more in there because you're in person with them. Like, and it really brings back the memories when you're like right there with somebody.
Right.
Feel me? And I feel like you should like go this route. I feel like you shouldn't even do no online. But I feel like this should be your route, honestly.
I definitely you inspired me to do this, and I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna make sure even I can do it on the road, traveling. You do it, like, I mean, because it ain't nothing but to have your phone or whatever, and as long as you got your mics and everything like that, you good to go. But definitely appreciate him for making me step my game up. And I happened to catch him before he left out of New York. So it's been cool. But I want you to let people know your socials, what team you play, your team social and everything like that, so they can keep up with you this year.
Okay, well, this season I'm playing with Mavs Gaming, so it's Mavs GG on Twitter, and in my personal social, Instagram, low.nyc, and my TikTok social is lowski_, so that's where I mainly do most of my stuff at Twitter. My Twitter's Glow the Real. Those like all my socials. That's mainly where I be at. If I'm tweeting, Twitter, Instagram mostly for pictures and stuff like that. And TikTok, I mean, I made a lot of last season content, so I'm going to make some more in-season content. I feel like last season I did content outside of the season when it was over with, but now I'm going to try to stay consistent with my content in season, so definitely check up on my TikTok.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode, and it's going to be more episodes like this. Remember to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Also, you can catch us on Spotify as well. Make sure you follow me on social media at OG King Kurt. OG King Kurt. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can go to OGKingKurt.com for everything, the OG2CENTS podcast and myself. I can't forget my team, Strider Visuals, Matrix, Box Graphics, and Christian Charisma for everything that they do with the podcast. I truly appreciate them. And make sure you catch next week's episode. And remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG2CENTS. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.